Hi everyone, I'm Marcie Besecker, an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, and I'm from Clovis, California. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am right in the middle of putting my baby wipes into my holder. I forgot I ran out, and I meant to grab some, so I ran and grabbed them, came back, and cut them open, and thought, okay, we'll just have to hurry up and do that. So plug in for Costco baby wipes. They really are the best baby wipes to use because they don't have all that extra lint and stuff, and so they're amazing baby wipes to use for wiping your hands, cleaning off your stamps, all that good stuff. So welcome. It is Wednesday. Yay! I can't believe September's almost over. Today is my grandson's birthday. He's 5. His party was Saturday, but he is officially 5 today, he tells me. He got his tubes put in his ears yesterday, so you wouldn't have even known, except when he went to the hospital, he was very happy to see Jeffrey the giraffe. However, once he had to put the gown on, he wanted to have nothing to do with it. But it was less than 10 minutes. My son went downstairs to grab some Starbucks. He came back up and his wife said, they already said he's done, and he's going into the room, so they're hurrying up and eating. But he was fine after that. Came over and jumping all over the place. So there's really no recovery time other than waking up after the surgery. So that worked out, really nicely. So if you need anybody that needs to have tubes in their ears, I guess it's a piece of cake. So hello, Bling Bling Crafter. What is your first name again? I'm so terrible. I got to write this down. I really enjoy this beautiful demonstration video. She's smart. Oh, you're so sweet. Tell hubby thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Ooh, on the big TV. I better back up. It could be scary. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Kathy, it's your first time. Well, welcome. I'm glad you caught us live. Hi, Gloria. Oops, I just scrolled too far. Hi, Melody. Hi, Barb. Hi, Annie. Judy, Dana, Carrie, Steph, Sherry, Marcia, Kathy, Judy. I'm trying to read. Yeah, he's very happy about his birthday, Judy. He keeps telling me, I'm 5. I'm 5. My husband said, you are a handful, that's for sure. Oh, thanks, Kathy. Yeah, he had it yesterday, the tubes. He's perfectly fine. Hi, Trina. How are you? Oh, you are welcome. I'm going to have to tell you guys, those Halloween cards that I did were a lot of blending, a lot. And I did a lot of them, and my hand still hurts. I'm glad I did them, though. But, yeah, my hand's been, like, cramping a lot. Oh, good, Marilee. Somebody else had messaged me, and Leslie, and showed me her boxes. She's made several. So I hope the boxes are going well for everybody. I'm getting a lot of emails about them. So I'm glad that everybody's loving it, and it's working out just fine. Also about the Halloween cards, and you guys are so welcome. I appreciate you participating and enjoying those cards. Today, I'm going to have a couple, I have to say, one huge big announcement is the Join Special. So I'm going to just quickly go over this, but kind of explain it a little bit about joining. If you were to join in September, it's the very last of a quarter. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, join, yes, that's perfect. Well, that is perfect, but why not wait till October? October, number 1, is the beginning of a brand new year, the beginning of a quarter. If you're going to join Stampin' Up, I don't know why, I feel like I'm itchy right here. Sorry. If you're going to join at the beginning of a quarter if you can, just because you get a lot of free months. So if you join like October, November, you're going to have October, November, December for your joining months, but your first official quarter to meet your quota is going to be January, February, March. So if you join in October, you're going to have those 3 months, October, November, December, and January, February, and March. You have 6 months to make your quota. The other good thing about that is you're going to be able to get the holiday items at a discount. Then come January, you're going to have the mini catalog and celebration. So there's a lot going on with joining at the beginning of a quarter. However, if you join in November, you're still going to have November, December for your quota. So to me, and your next quarter is your official quarter. Even if you joined December 31st, then that is your first month, but your first official quarter is going to be January, February, March. So I just kind of want to explain that to you. A lot of times it doesn't matter. If you know you're going to reach your $300 and you know you average $100 a month in sales, then it really doesn't matter when you join. But for those that maybe are more on a budget, maybe more like I will meet my 300, but that's about all I can do, then be smart about when you want to join. So make sure you talk to your demonstrator and say, when is the best time? What's the benefit now versus next month? And, just kind of understand when you're joining what works best for you. I know there's somebody watching that mentioned joining in October. So here's another little tidbit about joining in October. October 3rd, not the 1st, the 3rd. The 3rd through the 31st is a join special. So when you join, there's two options. You can join and save 35% off your starter kit. That means your kit is only $64.35 and you get $125 in product. I mean, that is crazy. That is a great deal. For me, even a better deal, pay the $99, but not $125 in product. You will get $168.75, 35% more. So you can save 35% or you can get 35% more. Okay, so that's either or of those. And though, on either one, and you will get the on-stage registration for November. And that is a $77 value. And that is in November. It's virtual. You're going to do it online. And what that entails is once you register for your on stage as a demonstrator, you're going to get to purchase a suite, and it is a cute suite that is going to be available in January for customer, or I think November. I think customers are going to be able to buy it, but I think it's going to be in the January catalog. So it's one of those items they're allowing us to get early, so customers will get it in November, but we can get it in October. Okay, so that I believe you can purchase on when you could probably put it in your kit, but you could also purchase that once you become a demonstrator. So there's a lot of good things coming up in the next 6 months. So joining in October will give you all those fun benefits, and to get on stage for free is pretty exciting. So that is a great join special. So I just wanted to get that out there. If you have any questions about it and about timing and what's involved, let me know. One of the things I want to say is a lot of people are intimidated by Demonstrator. I wish it was just kind of like if you want to be a coupon shopper or a happy shopper or a discount shopper, because there's two ways you can do it. You can run it as a business like I do and many people do, but then you can just be a happy shopper and a coupon shopper or discount shopper, whatever you want to call it, and just use your discount and shop with a discount. So no matter what you purchase, you're going to be getting a discount, and you don't have to demonstrate. You don't have to do all that. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there because there is an amazing special going on right now. Oh, thank you, Marilee. Oh, you let me know if you have any issues, Gloria. Oh, October 11th, Cindy. 5 is so much fun. Okay, I think I read everything else. The other thing, bingo is coming up. So here is the birthday bingo, October. And you know what? I was going to put a comment on this and I forgot what it was. Oh, the RSVP date. It is by the 1st. Now, when I say the RSVP date is by the 1st, that is guaranteed a kit. So I usually round it up just a few to add a few extras. But if you are interested in getting going to do bingo, please do register so I can prepare enough kits. Here is a sneak peek. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have 2 masculine cards on the bottom there. The third one on the top left can be masculine. You're going to get random colors. There's going to be a lot of different of that same print going out. And I matched them up so they look nice together. And then the top right one is the new one. The sentiment that I have there is a new sentiment, but I'm going to punch out that punch for you for the sentiment. You can add whatever sentiment on there you would like. So I try to make the bingos fairly easy. The bottom 2 is pretty much, other than sentiment, not a lot of stamping. Oh, the bottom right is the bear. But for bingo cards, I try to make it as easy as possible for you to alternate, put other items in there. For example, the bear, put another animal in there, put a larger sentiment, just make it be a view card, you know, so whatever you want. You can kind of mix and change it up a little bit. The card on the upper left that has the little birthday horn thing, if you don't have that stamp set, add balloons, add, you know, whatever you want, a cake, you know, whatever, if you want to make it a birthday card, or change the sentiment to whatever you want. So that's right, Dana. See, Dana is a hobby demonstrator, and she went to On Stage last year. We met, and so if it doesn't matter, you can go to On Stage, the one in person, which is in March, and you can go to that if you are a discount shopper or a hobby demonstrator. So there are fun events where you can go if you'd like and meet other demonstrators and have a lot of fun. So and get to see sneak peeks and they demonstrate some stamp sets and, you know, different things like that. Anyway, so those are the 2 big announcements I wanted to give. One more quick one about the paper pumpkin. This one's the one coming up. And then there's going to be another one in November that coordinates with it. I haven't seen it yet, but I think that is going to be kind of fun to do that. So if you're interested and you like the October one, then the November one may be up your alley too. So today we're going to make this fun card. I wanted to do something fall. I was going to do Halloween, but I'm just not a big Halloween person, and I've kind of done my share of Halloween already. So, and I haven't done any or mini fall. I did show you this stamp before when I showed you the set, and I showed you putting the crate together, but we're going to put the crate together and color. I believe I showed you this before, but I didn't color it, so we're going to color it and put this together and kind of show you where I got this from. I wanted it to just kind of look like some hay or whatever, you know, with your crate just sitting on it, to just kind of make it look a little more earthy and more fall. So we're going to show you, I'm going to show you how to do that and what we did. So we're going to start off, we're going to use the much wanted All About Autumn paper. And so we are going to pull out this piece right here. I thought it was just so pretty. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what I have left over with this. And then we're going to do another video on Sunday with the other pieces. We're going to use the Rustic Crate, which also has these amazing dies. So you have the floor, the greenery here that you can cut out. You've got the poinsettia flowers here, and you've got the pumpkin harvesty here, which is this one. We're going to use a label here and one of these little pieces. We've got this if you want to just stamp it, but I decided to use the full dies, which are going to be these 2. And then you've got some other little gloves, a little hello, and then those, of course, are and then you've got the handle here. We're going to use that too today. Oh, you know what? Did I get a handle? Yeah, I did. Okay, so we're going to use that. For the sentiment, I really wanted Happy Thanksgiving, but we apparently don't have one. But I liked the Beyond Grateful. So Beyond Grateful is one that I thought would be really good with this set. And then we're going to use the Scallop Contour because I wanted to soften up the back image just a little bit so that this would be our main focus. So I decided let's use the Scallop Contour, and we are going to do some vellum. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to cut this down. And I'm going to use the left side because I want some of the top and the bottom. So I'm going to go to 4. And I know this might be a little out of your 4 and 5 1/4. Let's see. Yeah. I want the top because it's got this shadow kind of area. So I went ahead and cut this off the bottom. And then I wanted this because it's going to go inside the card. And now this is what we have left over. Okay. So this is what you will see on Sunday's card. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that. So I'm going to throw that in my bucket so I can use that for Sunday. And we'll do another card. All right. We're going to pull this in now. And I have, again, and I forgot to put my measurements on, but it's the regular measurements, the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 for the back layer, and then 4 by 5 1/4 for the front layer, and it's the same here. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so we'll set that aside, and let's do our inside. Uh-oh, I think my husband might be home and my puppy's letting me know. I'm not sure what I did with my other acetate, my silicone mat, but there we go. All right, so we're going to take the little piece that we pulled off, and I'm going to use the leaf side, so we're going to go ahead and adhere that. And then when I cut off these to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, I ended up with this little piece here. So whatever size it is, it's big enough to make, you know, a nice edge for my paper. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I think I might go this way. And so I'm going to add that on here. All right. So we're going to need my glue. I started crocheting too again, and just last night was the first night, and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to because my hand was hurting, but I decided I was going to start a blanket, and my hand was fine, and then today, it's a little sore today. All right. All right, so there's that. And now we'll adhere it. Super simple, just whatever your little pieces are that's left over from trimming. Then take that and use that to finish off your card and put your accent on here. Isn't that pretty? And then we're going to, of course, going to put it on here, which is crushed curry. That's the color I use. I just decided to choose a fall color, and I was either going to use Cajun Craze, crushed curry, maybe a pumpkin or a pecan, and I decided to use the pecan pie for the outside. So let's go ahead and adhere this together. I didn't really have any green in this card, so I chose not to do green or purples. And really, I think you could probably use purple. If you look at this paper, it looks like it might have some shades of like maybe Blackberry Bliss or something. So I think it would have been really pretty with that too. So you could have definitely done that. All right, let's put this down. Yeah, the 27th already. Isn't that crazy? Oh, I love this DSP too. Oh, I love crocheting. I love crocheting too, Deborah. I just haven't done it in a long time. It's just been so busy. Hi, Marva. How are you? All right, so we're going to do that. I know I'm not wrapping anything around this paper, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere these also now. I like to kind of reduce everything to the minimal amount of pieces, so I don't, number one, don't lose anything. And number two, I don't pull out a piece of paper and accidentally start writing on it. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this. And that's just my, you know, what I kind of do. There's really no rhyme or reason that I do that, but I noticed that my papers, there we go. All right, there we go. And this paper is gorgeous. So when it comes back in, make sure you grab it. All right, so let's go ahead and put this back on the front, and we don't have to worry. See, it's already there and done. So now we have all those pieces adhered, and we can just set this aside. I mean, this would actually be gorgeous with just a nice big sentiment on it too. But we're going to go ahead and work on this. Let's set this aside, and I think we're going to do our coloring next. We'll do the embossing last, or right before we adhere it all together, because you know what'll happen. I'll get dust all over the place, and this will be kind of messy. So let's go with this. I like to use my matte. I'm going to use my Memento. And this fits nicely on my ink pad, so I don't mind doing the stamp to ink instead of ink to stamp. And I'm just going to put it right there. And yes, I could have used my Piercy matte, but I did this a little earlier and it stamped really nicely, so I knew I really didn't need to have that foam underneath there. Oh, I bet, Deborah. You know, I used to crochet when I was younger. I crocheted a lot. And it definitely works out different muscles in your hands, that's for sure. Because usually at first my hands really start hurting when I crochet, but it hasn't happened. Last night was fine when I started. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to color this. So let me just bring you in a little closer, and hopefully I can keep this in screen for you. And we're just going to, I like to put my mat underneath because it kind of gives me, I put the gummy part at the top usually so that my hand doesn't rub on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of start this and kind of see. I'm going to try and do close to the same colors, but I did this so long ago I don't really remember. But so funny that you were on YouTube on my television. You are amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Trisha. I know I can be on YouTube on the television. It's a little scary because I'm way much bigger, but I'm glad you are watching. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start out with the wild wheat. I'm going to start out with the light because I don't know how dark it's going to be, but I'm going to just go down some of the lines here on the corn. I'm just going to add a little bit of a darker center instead of all yellow. So I'm just going to kind of go down, and you notice it's not a whole lot, it's just a little bit. And then I think what I'm going to do is, what I like to do is take my next colors, which are all my yellows. I did my daffodil and I did my lemon lolly. I always have to look because I always want to say lolly lemon. So now I'm going to do dark and light. So I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to do it on the paper since I have the paper here. I'm going to do dark, and then I'm going to do light just to kind of, so I can see what colors I'm going to want to grab. Okay, so there's dark and light right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my Daffodil Delight, which my brushed ends are pretty much done. So I'm going to go with my deeper the bullet tip here. Okay, light and dark. Okay, so I think I'm going to do, for my corn, I want the light lemon lolly, I think. See, this is the dark one. And so I'm going to go with the light one, because I already have the wild wheat there in the middle. So I'm just going to go with a little bit of a lighter color here. So it's a little lighter on the edges. Now you could also, like on this one, the outside doesn't show many lines. You could also kind of make that the husk if you wanted. Totally up to you. And now I think I need to brighten it a little bit. So I am going to come back in with the Daffodil Delight and just kind of come back in around the edges. Just give it a little more of a brightness on there. Hi, darling. How are you? Hi, Nancy Lee. Oh, Carol, that's exactly what I do, is I sit there and do it at night. Oh, I know, Teresa. Mine cramp up too. That is the craziest thing. Okay, so I want the greens to look a little bit different from the pumpkin to the corn. So On the corn, I'm going to use the lemon lime twist. So I always like to start with dark. So I'm going to take the dark and I'm just going to go down the lines. I'm just going to go and do the lines around the corn. Okay, so I'm just going to go down the lines just to add that little depth of color there. Okay, and now I'm going to do the light and just fill it in. It's just a lighter kind of color. And I just want it to look a little different than the pumpkin colors. And actually the green on the corns are pretty light, so. All right, so there we go. Corn's done. And we can come back in and add a little more later if we decide that it needs more color, so we can do that. We're gonna do Mossy Meadow next, and I'm gonna take the dark and I'm gonna do the leaves. So I'm gonna do the veins of the leaves. Okay, and around the base. So like around where the sunflower is, like right there. Same here, I'm gonna go around and just kind of around the bottom, kind of like it's a shade or shadowing there. These leaves over here, I'm just gonna assume that they're also pumpkin leaves. Even though they're by the sunflower, I'm gonna do the same kind of leaves. Because these leaves here could be with the sunflower too. So I want them to be the same. But be careful because the sunflower comes out and you don't want to do the sunflower leaves green. So just you're focusing on these larger leaves. But I do like a little outline around. Okay, so just like that on both of those. And then now I'm going to come back in with the lighter Old Olive. I chose Old Olive because I wanted them to have a brightness to them. And Mossy Meadow can be pretty dark, even the medium one, or the lighter one. So see how the color still goes really well together. And you'll notice when I'm doing the leaves is I'm feathering inward, not outward, because I don't want it to bleed outside the line. So I tend to start here and kind of come down. And then once you're down here, you can go outward a little bit because you're down at the bottom of the leaf, so the bottom portion, so you can blend that dark and light together. But then when I'm up here towards the edges, I come up to the edge and come down. Okay, like this one's a pretty wet blend, and so you want to be really careful that you don't have it kind of bleed outside the line because it's too wet. All right, so now let's do the pumpkins. So we're going to bring in, I did light and dark pumpkin pie, but I also am going to bring in my light copper clay. And I don't know if I'm using that yet. I don't know if I'm going to use it on the pumpkin. I don't know if I'm going to use it on the sunflowers. But I am going to put my color there just to kind of get an idea of what I want. And I think I'm going to end up using that and, oh, I lost my other color. Hold on. And my pecan pie. I definitely want pecan pie for the center of my flowers. So let's do our pumpkins. We're going to start out, let's see, let's start out with our copper clay. And I think I used Cajun on this one, but we're going to do it a little bit different. All right, so I'm going to do the lines first. Okay, so I'm just going to come in the lines and do the lines a little darker. You want to be careful. Don't pick up your flowers. And I'm not going to do shading or anything with this one. I'm just going to do the lines. But see, even the lines from the bottom, I go from the bottom up because you can go like this and just kind of go up. You don't have to go completely on the line because you're just kind of giving it some color. I don't always do the lines on the outside, but if you do, which I will right now, is just kind of go, you don't want to set your marker and do it really slow because it'll be a thick line. You want to just do it kind of quick. Okay, so when you're doing it. And I want to make sure I can see it well, so I'm going to turn so I make sure I'm kind of in the line or on the line, and do it like that. Okay, and then if you want, you can do these lines up here too. All right, so there is our pumpkin. And you're like, ooh, brown pumpkin. No, don't worry about it. We're going to pull in our dark pumpkin pie. And now I'm going to go a little more up here and kind of like, just kind of, this is going to be like my shading or my darker part. And you can come back down into your lines a little bit. And you want to go right here in between and right here. Just kind of come down. I like to do it. Oops, I went a little bit on the flower right there. Darn it. That's right. That's all right. We'll fix it as best we can. All right, and now you want to do the bottom too. So do the bottom up. Just kind of stick with those lines. And then I am going to take the darker color and go around the outside of the flower because it's going to be like a shadow. And then next to the corn here. And then around this flower. And don't worry, because when you do your lighter color, you're doing your lighter color and it's blending into the darker, right? All right, so we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna do it from the bottom and come up. You don't have to go on the lines if you don't want to, but you definitely can go back on the lines in the middle of the pumpkin. Okay, so you can just kind of go up them like that, just a little bit. All right, so let me get the clear lifter, color lifter, and see if I can get that color. Now, I don't want to push the color up into my flower. I want to push it down into my pumpkin. So I'm going to start right here and try and push that off of those petals the best I can. And that way, if it goes inside the pumpkin, it's okay. The pumpkin's orange. And then I tend to just kind of wipe it off a little bit. And see, because I'm pushing it this way, so now it kind of pushed that orange off of there. It's not perfect, but it works very well. All right, so now I think I'm going to still take a little bit more dark up here and just come down a little ways. And I'm going to make it to where the light's in the front there on that, okay? All right, and now we're going to take the light. And I still like to use the bullet because I'm going to just do circle motions. I want that to blend with the darker. But I want to be careful. I don't want it to blend into the rest of my image. But I want it to kind of blend the darker. You don't want to go too close to the images you still have to color or that are different colors. Okay, I like to do circles right here because it just brings the dark down and colors in the white, but it blends your lines. You don't have, like, that's a harsh line right there. Just, if you do it in circles, you're not pushing the color up or down, you're just kind of putting the colors together. I hope that makes sense. I don't do too many circles way over here because you don't want it to go on the outside, right? So, all right. And now it looks like I blended a lot of my coloring that was in the middle away. So I'm going to go with the darker pumpkin and just kind of go over it. And it can be lightly because you can see there's still color there and there's still dark there. This one I did a lot darker. I think I did because I did Cajun Craze on that one. But it's just whatever you want. So you could add more here if you wanted and make it darker. We can make it a little darker on the top. Again, make it come down a little ways. And remember, you can let this dry and then come back to it too. So we can go back. Okay, so we did it color a little bit, and now bring back in the light again, And now just go over those lines just enough. And I'm just going to go up and down just enough to add just a little bit. Okay, so it's whatever you want. You just keep going until, you know, you get the color you want. Like right now, to me, this is looking really bland over here. So I'm probably going to add some more darker color there. So we can definitely come back in with the dark lemon twist. And now you're layering. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer the inside. Instead of going down the line in the middle, I'm going to go down on the inside branches that's closest to the corn and make one of the sides of the husk a little darker, just to give it a little more color there. See how I just kind of I did the inside one a little darker. And now I think what I'm going to do is come back in with the dark daffodil, and I'm going to lighten this. I'm going to darken this corn because it's just not enough for me. I want to make it brighter because this is so vivid. I don't want this to be washed out. Okay, so we did that. All right, now I'm going to take my pecan pie and let's just test it. So this one is the dark. That's really dark. And the insides of these flowers already have the black on them, right? So you don't really shade them because it's got such a good black image on there. I'm just going to take the pecan and go right in the middle of these sunflowers. Okay, so I'm going to do my pecan there. Now I need to move this all back over because I've blocking all my yellows. Now I need my yellows back in here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the light pumpkin and I am going to just go around the inside of my flower. I'm going to just add a little depth to this image. And so I'm going to do a little bit around the inside. You can do little circles, or I just kind of go back and forth. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of shading right there with the darker color. All right, now I'm going to take the darker of the, let's see, this is wild wheat, which I love. And I'm going to do the lines in the middle of the wild wheat. I'm going to make these a little more earthy tones. And I'm just going to add the wild wheat a little bit on the veins of the flower. Even the little ones in the back. Okay. And I've not done this before. It could turn out terrible, but we're going to try it. All right, there we go. So we're just add a little bit. Now we're going to come back in with the darker of the yellow. And now I'm going to blend the pumpkin and the darker yellow. And now these back ones, I can do these back ones, the little tiny petals, not all of them, but just a few of them. Do it with the dark. And it's going to pull out those petals looking like they're in the shadow and they're still into this color. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to finish going around. And you can do a little bit bigger, bigger streaks. So instead of doing this, you can do a little bit of short, a little bit of long. You don't want it to be a circle, right? You want it to look a little bit different. So, so just kind of blend that out a little bit. And then I'm going to do these. And so you're doing that yellow right on the orange, and it's really turning into a pretty color onto the wild wheat. And then you got little tiny ones back here, not all of them. Just pick out a couple. The back side of a petal, do that. This back side right here, you could do that. I think I did wild wheat on that, but that's fine. All right. So now I'm going to do this one too. Only because I got a little bit of green on it. So I'm going to use the deeper yellow. Now I'm going to do the light Daffodil Delight, this one. I actually like the dark Lemon Lolly, so I think I'm going to go with that one. So that's why I like when I write right here. See how this one's a little deeper than this one? So I'm going to go with this one. So even though you think that the Lemon Lolly is a lighter color, when you're doing the light and the dark, sometimes the dark on a different shade is going to be darker than the light on a very vibrant shade. So think about that. So now I'm going to take this light, it's actually the dark Lemon Lolly, and I'm going to do the tips only, but I'm going to kind of bring it in a little bit to blend. So you're starting from the tip and working your way back into your flower. And then you can tell that it's a little more vibrant. It's has a little more color in it. You're going to still see the wild wheat, so you can still kind of circle around in this because this is a lighter color. Circle around, kind of blend those colors in a little bit. And you can come all the way up to the brown, so you can really blend that in a little bit. So you just want to do it to where you get the colors and you think, all right, that looks good. If the pumpkins are super vibrant, you want these images to be a little more vibrant too. Otherwise, they're going to be just washed out. Because those corns were super light. If you would have left them, they would have been a little too light. All right, so now I'm thinking everything looks a little more vibrant. Okay, so there we go. I think that is enough, except light. I'm going to go right down here. It looks like I didn't get it all the way to the line, and I see a big old white streak. So there we go. All right, so there is our image. And if you wanted to, you could add, a little more. Remember that this part is pretty much going to be inside your crate, so you don't have to worry about that. Let me die cut this out really fast because I did not do one ahead of time. And I think it's this one here. So let me die cut that, and then we're going to put our crate together. Make sure that that looks good. I love images like this with dies. So many images that, we end up coloring, we end up having a fussy cut. So I love that we can cut that out. All right. The next thing we're going to do is let's put our crate together, and we're also going to stamp our little image here. So we have our crate, which is right here, and we also have our tag. So when you cut this piece out, you're going to get a white, this is cut out twice. So let me show you the die. So this is the die. So when you cut this out, this is going to be one piece and this is going to be one piece. So when I did this in Wild Wheat, because I wanted it to kind of give it a gold color, when you do it in Wild Wheat, you're going to get two pieces. So I had to do it in white also, so that I can have the sentiment in white, because I wanted it to look like that just goes over and you slip a little piece of paper in there. So that's what we did. And so we're going to take this and we're going to stamp it for you. And I like how this stamp set worked out, because it says Beyond Grateful, and that came from one stamp set. And then it says for you. So Beyond Grateful for you. And I thought, oh, that's perfect. And you don't have a lot you can choose from that's going to go in the for you, right? And so I'm going to make this as straight as I can. All right, so there's the For You. And then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put the glue on here, because if you put it on here, you're kind of guessing that this is going to wrap around it and not make a mess, and you're going to get ink, you're going to get glue on your sentiment. So, oops. Let's try that again. All right, and then I'm just going to go lightly around the outsides. I can tell you that's too much right there. Okay. All right. Now, I want to make sure I'm still on screen here. The culture is lay a week here after the tropical storm. The rest of the weekend watching. Oh, thank you so much, Kimberly. All right, so we're going to put that in there. Remember, it's just like it's a little piece of paper that you just slip in. Remember, like in the little catalog things at the library or whatever, and they used to say like A to F or whatever it is. All right, we're going to put that aside. We still have that. Now let's do our crate. So what we're going to do first thing is we are going to bend the back side. This is the good side, and then this is the raw side, right? When you emboss it or die cut it. So we're going to push these up. So we're going to push that one up. We're going to push these in. All these little tabs go in. So just kind of make sure they're in. These tabs here, push them up. And then this right here, see this score line right here? I fold this, I don't burnish it, and then I just kind of pinch that one in just a little bit, okay? So just pinch it in a little bit, and you'll see in a minute why. All right, so I'm going to start with my left side right here. Okay, this side is embossed like wood, see it? And I do not fold these, okay? We're going to give it the illusion that it's folded, though, in a second. So I'm going to put my glue right there, right there. That's kind of a lot. And then I'm going to put it right here. I like to use glue on anything that's like a 3D or anything. We're going to put stuff in this. I just don't want it to pop apart, because that kind of would make the whole image not what it is. And then I'm going to glue these. Okay, you don't want a whole lot of glue. You don't want to go all the way to the edges, because it's going to squish out the sides. So make sure you don't do that. All right, so now we're going to take this top part, and I always start over here. And I don't know why, but I do. So I'm going to go to the edge, then fold this down. Remember, you have liquid glue. You have time to move it around. And then I'm going to push these in and those in. Okay, now I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to kind of make sure my edges are together. I'm going to push this down a little bit. Push that. Turn it over and make sure your edges are good. Everything is good. It is. I'm going to put that down a little bit. And now you can see that, see how this is angled and kind of bent a little bit? Because when you glue this down, you're going to glue this back part right here, okay? You're not going to glue this down. You could probably put a dimensional under that if you wanted, but it's, you know, totally up to you and what you're doing. I didn't, and you'll see why when I do my card. But you want to glue this part, and then your crate gives it that illusion that it's open, right? That you can put your stuff inside there. Oh, you need me to zoom out? Yeah, we're done coloring, so this will be a little easier. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, so yeah, it's really not that bad to put together. Just fold everything down, and if you wanted to, put glue here, and then, you know, you could lift that up because you're going to glue it down, and then put your glue and then lay the rest down. So it's really not that difficult once you have it, you know, close to being together. So let's put this, oh, we're not going to put this aside. What we're going to do next is in your dies, so let me fix this so I don't lose anything. We are going to pull out this one right here. This little piece right here, I took one of these, and this is what it looks like. So it's like a little hinge, and I did it in gold foil. So we're going to take one out. Now, if you wanted to, you could definitely do these around the corner and do it, you know, one here and one here and one here and not back there and make it, you know, a little bit more. But what I did is I just did one right here. And this is on the side. So this one would be on this side, so you're not going to see it. And then this one could be on the back side. You could put it here. It just does not fit as well. So I really think that these are supposed to go here. But back here, you could make it work, just kind of angle it a little bit more. But I just put one on the side there. It just looks enough to give it that little bling, like it's on each corner. All right, so now let's go ahead and I'm going to do a little bit down the center, a little on the top, a little on the bottom. I think I did too much. I just tap it with my finger and then just wipe it here. It'll wipe off really easy when you're done. All right, but I do love having my little tweezers here from the embossing kit. They are the best. And then I'm going to put that here and to the corner. Okay, so just right there, right down the edge. If you get a little bit outside like I just did, just take your pick tool or whatever you use and just put it there. So now there's your crate. So we'll put that. Let's put our pumpkins in. Now, when I cut this, do you notice I put a little bit more of the white on the bottom and I did a little closer on the top? Because this is going to go inside. So once you put it in here, what I like to do is I like to take my leaves and I put them outside this crate right here. And then I slide that down. That way it looks kind of a little more realistic, right? Because it's got that big gap there in the crate. So you can just kind of slide it in there and then put your, oh, my little piece wasn't in there, that's why. So make sure you get all three of your little pieces in there. There we go. So see, now they're sticking out a little more realistic looking. Okay, so instead of just putting those down there and gluing, I liked, you could pop those up in the back if you wanted, or you could just add your dimensionals up on the top. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll show you that in a minute, but we're going to set this aside for now. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put a dimensional first. Let's just get that out of the way. I put one in the back because you want to make sure it's adhered to your crate. So I'm just going to put one here. Okay, so it's popped up, and then you'll see the rest when I put it together. So we'll put that there. Let's go ahead and emboss our piece here. All right, so we're going to do gold, just because that I have the gold foil right here, and it's a little more, anything polished, I usually do gold. And then, so we're going to use our Versamark, and we're going to use our embossing buddy that also comes with the embossing kit, which if you don't have one, you get that. You get this tray, this brush, and or something else. What was it? Oh, and you get your tweezers. So it's a great deal. So now you're going to get Beyond Grateful, or whatever sentiment you choose. I'm going to put this straight on a line so I can kind of make sure it's somewhat straight. And then what you might want to do, oh darn it, you guys, I forgot to put the handle on. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back off of my crate. Okay, so we'll use that crate. I'm just going to take this off right now because I just kind of goofed up. Like I do on, you know, most videos. You can see how I fix things. And I put this one with a little handle on it because you get this little handle. And so I wanted to do that. So let's put this right here. All right, there we go. And now let's put this back in. I don't want to have to die cut the little handle. You guys know how to die cut, so we'll just want to make sure the leaves are there though, and put my pumpkins in. There we go. There we go. Now line this up, and we're going to put our crate right about there. Okay, so it's going to go right about there. And now you're going to kind of know where you're going to put your sentiment. Okay, so now that kind of gives you a good spacing idea of what you're going to do. Thank you, Steph. Well, thanks, Kathy. All right, now, oopsies, we're going to put our gold. And now I use my brush to tap it off. And then I have little pieces here that I probably didn't do my embossing buddy all the way over. But there we go. See how nice it is without any, I had a couple little pieces because I didn't go all the way across with my embossing buddy, but look how nice that is now. Nice and crisp. I know I'll be asked, these are spice containers from Amazon. All right, so let me just emboss this. I like to turn on my heat emboss tool and let it warm up a little bit, and then I'll come back in, and I usually will go underneath and then I'll do it on top too. But look how fast it is for embossing powder. You have to be very careful. And if this piece wasn't so big, I would hold my my piece of paper with my tweezers, but the paper is pretty big, so you can see the E wasn't done, and now it's all done. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to attach this to the front of the card. Oops, not that one, this one. All right, so kind of figure out where you want to put it. But what I do know is I'm going to put my tool, my little crate down here. So I'm just going to do my two streaks right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and go on top of my sentiment right about there. And then I'm going to do just a little bit right there because I'm going to put this right here too. So it's going to kind of cover it up. So now let's put this on straight. Just kind of get it centered where you want the, make sure your sentiment is straight. That is going to be the most noticeable. So if you're putting this on and you realize, oh, it's a little crooked, shift your piece here, especially because it's vellum, shift it and move it just a little bit so that your sentiment is straight, because that's going to be noticeable that it's not straight. Once you put your other stuff on there, it's going to be fine. We are going to put one of these little gem things right there. So we're going to take a glue dot because I want, make sure it's nice and flat. I want to put it right over here to just hold that side down right there. Okay. And if you want to put more here, you can. I don't feel the need because we've got it right here and then we have it down here. Okay. So we're going to put that, and we're going to now come do our little fringe down here because I just wanted it to kind of look like it's hay or whatever, you know, that your crate is sitting there. All right. We're also, let's go ahead and do this. We're going to put our little tag here. with mini dimensionals. And so we're just going to add, I put 3 just because it's going to be popped out on the crate. I want to make sure it's secure. So we're going to take these 3 off. I'm missing comments. I know I am. I'm sorry. Oh, she was a nurse too. Well, look at that, Debbie. You know, Debbie was a nurse. Oops. Okay. So this is going to go right here. And you just want it, you know, in the center. It's kind of angled, so it's going to look a little not quite centered. But look how cute that looks. Oh, it's so pretty, Gloria. Just be very careful. You don't want to burn it. Just keep moving your gun. Okay, so we're going to take this, and what we're going to do is we're going to make our twine stuff right here. So let me show you what I did. I used this wavy trim because it's super easy to use. So I just took a piece about like this, and then I took 2 of them. Okay, so about right there. And then we're going to take the strings out, okay? So once you start taking these out of here, you could pull the center one. You could pull, not the center one, the ones out on the right and the left. This one is the one braided back and forth, holding these together. So what I do is I just pull one apart, and then you can get a good grip of it, and you're going to pull those out, and then you're going to pull these out, and this, the center, you just throw away. Now, what I do is I pull in this, and then I take your pokey tool or whatever you have, and I just kind of fringe it up a little bit. You want to kind of unravel it so it's kind of more straw looking. So this takes just a bit, so just kind of think about what part's going to be sticking out. So just take a little bit and just kind of unravel it. If you wanted to, you could just grab a bunch more of it and, you know, just like this, and you could, you know, do it like that, and it might, you know, it'd be okay, but I like to unravel it some so you don't have to use as much. So there's 2 on this end that have been unraveled. You don't have to unravel them all the way, but you definitely want to unravel some. I know this seems tedious, and it kind of is, but it gives you a good effect. And you can go back as far as you want. You don't want to go all the way because you need something to glue down, and it's easier to glue it when it's not. Now once you do this, see all this extra right here? Just pull that extra. You don't want that. Just throw that away. So just kind of go through. Probably not one of those cards you want to do a lot of if you're going to add this on, and you really don't have to add it, but since I'm doing it for a video, I thought I'd just show you kind of a option. All right, but now you got to turn them around. I know, I'm trying to do it quickly, and just unravel them. I wonder if you just did it with your fingers. No, wouldn't work. All right, so just kind of make them, it fills it up a little bit better and looks a little more realistic. Well, you get the idea. I'm just going to do them lightly here. I can do it after it's on the card too. The thing is you don't want to poke this into your card and try to do it, but you could lightly just finish it up on the card or fluff them up a little bit more or whatever works for you. And there's one that snuck away here. All right, so you guys get the idea. So just kind of do that. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to add our adhesive right on top where the other was at. There we go. All right, not right there. Okay. I'm going to take half of it and fold it. Okay, and you want it flat as you can. So take half of it and fold it, and then just kind of put it like that. All right, and then take this. Oh, this one went with this one. Well, that's okay. And you can do it up a little higher, have it lower, whatever. You can trim it later if you want. All right, so there's that. And then you can take this one and same idea, kind of crisscross them. And this one I'm going to bring back and bring it down so it looks a little more realistic. See how this one's just down here? It's not going to be perfect like, you know, like an arch. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this back part. I don't want to do dimensionals on top of this. So we're going to just do our glue. And we're going to just kind of lay that down, bring it up to about where you want it. On this one, see, I put a little lower than the other one, so that's okay. We're going to bring it up a little bit. And then you can bring these out. Remember, they're stuck. So just bring them out if they're a little bit too far in. All right, you don't have to do a whole bunch. Just kind of get it where you want it. Pull out that extra hair off. All right. All right, now what I did is now I'm doing dimensionals too. So bring in your large dimensionals. And it's really not that high right there. It's not like it's super thick to not be able to post it. Thank you guys so much for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put one right, oops, that one's not far enough down. Right there. Right there. That one's stuck on my finger. Right there. All right, so make sure it's straight. It's going to slide around a little bit. And now you're going to push those down. And now what I did down here, because it's going to lift a little bit, just go put some glue in there. All right, so you can get that glue in there. All right, and now I just kind of feather this downward so that it's like, again, looks like the hay. But see how this one's a little feathered more? I really kind of went and did it. It took a little while. All right. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you guys like it. So just push that down. I usually take a block and just leave it there for a minute. And now we're going to go and get our little gems, which I'm using the adhesive back speckled dots. So some of these items are still out of stock, so just be on the lookout for them. I think it's this next week, a few things are coming in. Some items I think came in today. So always keep checking. And when it says week of, they usually come pretty quickly. All right. So I'm going to put the smaller medium one here, and I'm going to put it where my glue dot is. Remember I put my glue dot right there? Make sure you get all your fuzz off your card. Okay, there's that one. And then I'm going to do a large one and a small one right here. All right. So there we go. So just color it, you know, continue doing the coloring, whatever colors are, you know, look good to you. If you want more, you can also add some of this in the bottom of your crate and pull your card, you know, your coloring up. Because right here, your coloring is really being hidden, right? So if you pull this up a little bit more, you can see more of your image, but you're going to see holes in your, where did my other crate go? Oh, it's right here hidden. You're going to see things right here and here that if you pull it up too far. But if you add a little bit of this inside, even if you took this and just really took some shreddings and put in there, you're not even going to see it, right? So that's another kind of way that you could do it. Or do two of them, color the bottom, and then pop this up on top in the front where it makes it look like it's just taller. And then that way you'll get all of your image. Thank you, guys. Oh, Tashana, it's okay. There's a replay. But there you go. So anyway, a really fun, I love the gold emboss, and you can see it a lot better in person than on the screen. But yeah, it's really pretty. You could also add a label up there if you wanted to. You definitely could do that. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Teresa. So I think I missed a lot of chatting. I'm sorry. If there's any questions, let me know. Post them below and I'll read the comments later. Oh, I'm glad you did, Kathy. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. It was just, like I said, it's fairly flat. I mean, you really, if you put that in a card, it's really, it seems like it's popped up a lot, but it's really not because you glued it down, but you just glued it on top of your little hay, faux hay look there. And like I said, you don't even have to put that on there. You could just add your box on there just like it is. There's that cute little tablecloth from that one stamp set. You could add that under there like it's just sitting there. You can do whatever you want. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad I was helpful in teaching techniques. Totally speaks fall. Oh, thanks, Tashana. The thing is that little fuzz will get all over you, so be prepared for that. So just to recap a little bit, don't forget my bingo is available for purchase. There's a link below. It's going to be October the 11th. It is going to be a lot of fun. My RSVP goes through the 1st. After that, it's there might be a few left, but you're guaranteed if you register by the 1st. Thank you to those that I had mentioned that if you cannot pay until after the 1st, that's fine. Just leave me a note in your registration so I have it on my spreadsheet, and in that way it lets me remind you when the payment's due, but also I know not to bother you, and I know you want a kit and you're counted in the kit count. Here are the sneak peeks. Again, if you don't have the stamp set, you can definitely put a different sentiment down. The flower is actually die cut on that top right. The images on the bottom left and bottom right are all die cut other than the bear. If you don't have that set, you can use whatever animal you have. We have a lot of deer sets. You could use just a nice sentiment on it and just let it be a scene. It just, you know, I try to think about that you don't have the stamp set, like what else could you use? The birthday set, you could use balloons or a present, or a lot of the Christmas suites or bundles have presents, and you could just stamp that in a pretty fun color to coordinate with your cardstock and make it a present. So there's lots of things you could do for these cards. So it's going to be a fun bingo. It is a birthday bingo because it's my birthday month in October. So I'm going to be doing some giveaways. I like to do some fun stuff for my birthday month. So be prepared for that. It will be a lot of fun. You won't want to miss it. All right, everybody, I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to let you go. You guys have a fantastic rest of your week. And don't forget the join special in October. Starts October the 3rd, not the 1st. It's October the 3rd. This is a fantastic special, so don't miss out. And I will see you soon. Bye, everybody.